I'm so happy that we have this opportunity to spend some more time together. Our meeting in the laboratory was much too short. I must say, you had me going for a while. You actually got me to believe that you were a split personality embodying that Avali's self-loathing. It's been a long time since anybody tricked me like that. I'm impressed. Nothing to say? No clever, misleading banter?
I'm kind of off balance from being zapped into wherever this is.
Understandable.
So, what's this all for? A proper, uninterrupted word association test?
Oh no, I think we've moved beyond such basic techniques. More like a stress test.
Oh boy.
Let us begin, shall we? Through the door, please. You might want to pick up a flashlight from the locker on your way out. Interesting. You complied. A subservient personality? No, that doesn't fit the rather creative act you put on for me. Perhaps you're simply inclined to go with the flow. That would fit. Back in the base, you took the ideas I gave you and built up a whole fictitious persona around them. Excellent reflexes. I thought we'd start with a simple childhood game. I'm sure you've played The Floor is Lava.
Can't say I was a particularly imaginative child.
Oh, I don't believe that for a moment.
Aha! Come on. Yes. Alright. Ow, 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 ow. Oh boy. Whew.
Well done. So, what will it be? Up or down? Interesting.
So, why the hospital theme?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Oh, one of those kinds of places. We're not really anywhere in particular, are we?
Oh, we most certainly are. We're in your mind.
Is that so?
You're trying to alter your environment, aren't you? Fascinating. Unfortunately, this particular part of your mind is not one over which you have conscious control.
Right. Well, So, if all this is happening in my mind, what's going on in the real world?
Your mind is as much a part of the real world as anything else. As to what your body is doing, it is essentially sleeping.
So this is like a dream, huh? No real danger?
On the contrary, you are in a great deal of danger. Death within the mind is just as painful and permanent as death without.
Of course. Empty. Empty. A sword. That does not bode well. Whoa, crap!
Insightful.
Ow! Whew. Whew. Okay.
Ah, I see the look on your face. Relief. This isn't turning out to be nearly as bad as you imagined.
That's a bit of a reach, isn't it?
Hardly. It's written all over your face. Don't think you have me fooled this time, Ishmael. I can tell when you're lying. You're not very good at it. You are, in fact, not as good at anything as you believe you are. And deep down, I'm sure you know it.
Right. Because I should totally listen to a psychopath's evaluation of my character.
Oh, come now. The truth is the truth, regardless of who speaks it.
And the devil can quote scripture for his purposes. I know this speech you're giving me, so allow me to preemptively say, shut up, Hannibal.
Ooh, Hannibal. I like that. I must keep that name in my pocket for later.
Great.
No love for heights, I take it?
How insightful. Right, well, how hard can it be? If I can bounce Ori all over Nibel, surely I can handle a few platforms on my own.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess I don't believe it either. Okay, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. Oh boy.
Such poor control of your emotions. Your only way to overcome fear is to pretend it doesn't exist. How small, how childlike.
Yeah, well, if you're such a superior being, how about throwing some insight my way?
And why would I do that?
Because, let's face it, if I'm the insignificant speck you say I am, I'm not much of a challenge, am I? So what does it say about you that you're here trying to tear me down?
Oh, I see what you're doing. How cute. Very well, I'll play along. What would you like to know?
Well, what are you exactly?
Very much like you. Much farther along, of course, but we share unique commonalities.
And, what would those be?
Surely you can guess.
Are you a YouTuber too?
Oh, don't be obtuse. If you think you can hide the fact that you're a companion from me, you are more stupid than I took you for.
Companion? I'm offended. I did all that stuff by myself, thank you very much.
As I said, you are a poor liar. Bloodclaw tells me that when confronted, your Avali asked the voice in his head for instructions. I must admit, until that point, I did not realize you were a companion. I have never encountered one who can take physical control of his partner's body. I'm envious. Such an ability might have saved me a good deal of difficulty at one time.
So some poor person had to have your voice in their head telling them crippling half-truths non-stop, huh? I bet I know how that ended. Noose? Slit wrists? Did your victim even have wrists?
Bludgeoned to death.
Sounds like you were a lousy companion.
This coming from one whose companion was dissected under your watch.
So, what is this companion business anyway? Some weird kind of time travel?
You haven't figured it out yet. I'm disappointed. Are you familiar with the concept of multiverse?
Yeah, for everything that can come to pass, there's a universe where it does.
Crude and grossly inaccurate, but functional. Yes, you and I reach across time, space, and realities to connect with beings in other universes. This probably isn't the first time you've done it either. I am curious. Why the Avali?
What makes you think I chose him?
Oh, you didn't. That's not how it works. But you chose to stay with him, even though I gather that he has been less than honest with you. could have left him, or hurt him, or forcibly taken control.
Yeah, I'm not like you. I don't hurt people just because.
You're skirting the question.
Maybe I'm just stupid and naive.
Naive, perhaps. Stupid. That remains to be seen. Now, clearly you consider yourself a visionary. The sort of person who sets out to change the world. Unfortunately for you, you were not at all up to the task.
Well, not alone.
But that is exactly it. Change cannot come from a singular, quixotic dreamer. He requires cooperation, and that is hard to come by. You stay with the Avali because you hope to somehow bring an end to the conflict that has been festering between your two peoples, to trigger some sort of miraculous epiphany. It is a pipe dream, let me assure you.
Yeah, huh?
You are doubtful. I understand. In that case, Ishmael, allow me to reference another famous piece of earthly literature. A Christmas Carol.
You mean the story about the grouchy cynic who learns to open his heart and help those around him?
The very same, but that is not the aspect I am referencing. I refer, rather, to the three ghosts.
And how are they relevant to this discussion?
Thusly.
Whoa!
Welcome to Avalon, circa 1606. By the earthly calendar, that is. This outpost belongs to the infamous malefactors that the Avali hate so much. At this moment in time, the two races were engaged in a pitched and brutal conflict, the worst the planet had seen, though it would be surpassed less than a decade later. It had been a particularly successful week for the malefactors. They had defeated a major Avali offensive, capturing many prisoners, and consequently were enjoying an extremely favorable bargaining position with the captains of the Avali forces. On this day, however, negotiations broke down. The Avali high leadership, little more than an assemblage of tribal warlords at this point, dug in its heels and ordered the captains to stop talking. The malefactors decided that a stronger message was necessary. If you go down to sub-level 7, you'll see what I mean. Chilling, isn't it?
This, coming from someone who adopted the moniker of a Nazi war criminal, who did far worse.
My behavior is irrelevant. What you see here is the depth of inhumanity that drives the conflicts between humans and Avali.
That was a long time ago.
Indeed. Let us turn our attention to the present, then. This is the Pequot, formerly of the United Systems Colonial Navy. It served with distinction during the Civil War, but when Earth was destroyed and the United Systems fractured, the captain struck out on his own. For a time, the Pequot and her sister ship the Huron protected isolated human colonies near the Avali border from bandit raids. One day, a particularly bloodthirsty and well-organized tribe of Florins arrived in a stolen Hilotl battlecruiser. They laid siege to the colony of New Draconis. The Pequot and Huron engaged, but were outmatched. When the captain of the Pequot was killed, the first officer requested assistance from an Avali fleet that had been shadowing the Florins' progress along the border. The Avali refused, and the battle was lost. The Huron was destroyed. The Pequot survived at the cost of 2/3 of its crew, but was unable to save the colony. The Florins continued merrily along their path of destruction. When the last colony in the sector fell, the Avali annexed the region, but the Pequot remained, turned pirate vessel, and, well, see for yourself. The first officer, now captain, never forgave the Avali. He attacks freighters and passenger ships, taking and selling slaves. The survival rate among captured Avali is unfavorable. Still, what you are interested in is the future, the culmination of your efforts. Let's take a look at those, shall we?
You cannot see the future.
No, but I can extrapolate from the present. I can't say for certain that things will turn out this way, but I am very, very confident. Welcome to Nezuko, a secret military research base where the ADF develops technologies that are too dangerous or underhanded to experiment with on Avalon.
So, what's this, a giant railgun? Is a big gun supposed to somehow convince me that people are irredeemable scum?
They call this the Roktok. As of our present time, it's still in development, but is currently capable of penetrating 4 kilometers into a planet's crust.
Hooray! They can blow up a city. Seems like it would just be easier to lasso an asteroid.
It would. However, this is not what I brought you here to see. Onward, Ishmael. I imagine that your Avali friend has told you glowing stories about the ADF. Defenders of the weak, a shield between the terrors of the galaxy and the helpless people of Avalon, heroes, paragons. Let me assure you, it's all lies.
I guess I should believe you. After all, of the two of us, you are the expert at lying.
On the contrary, the truth is always more powerful than a lie. I can tell you truthfully that your goals and those of the ADF do not align. Understand, humans are deeply flawed. You struggle to control your animal impulses. Avali, as a species, are much younger even than you and cleave much more tightly to their predatory nature. Their violent tendencies are much closer to the surface. Yes, you will find philanthropists and ethicists on Avalon who are on par with any in the rest of the galaxy. But you will also find barbarians who are happy to commit acts that would give even the tyrannical United Systems pause. Oh, hold that thought. Here we are. Oh, I can see from the look on your face that this isn't the future you envisioned, is it?
Well, Rhaomi did say they wanted to figure out a defense against the tentacle beast, so...
That is mostly pretense. If there was an easy way to defend against the beast, the United Systems would have found it and shared it years ago. Most of the ADF's effort will be aimed towards creating a weapon of the type you are so desperately attempting to keep out of Minonog hands.
Yeah, well...
They will do this, Ishmael. And there will be war. A bloody, brutal war, fueled by hatred and fear, full of atrocities which you would think beneath any civilized race. I am 90% confident that the weapon you see before you will be used, that a great civilization will be destroyed, that billions of people will suffer for it, and that the Avali's violent nature will be the cause of it. What you saw in that chamber on Avalon is a mere candle flame compared to the inferno that is looming on the horizon.
Assuming you're telling the truth. If I know all this, what's to stop me from changing it?
Huh. You clearly believe yourself much more influential than you are. Really, Ishmael, do you think you can stop a war? When you can't even keep a petty squabble at a conservation working group from erupting into violence?
Been doing research, I see.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, I have some news on that subject that you have not yet heard. Would you like me to share it?
Could I stop you if I did?
No. The men in your working group, the rancher, Mr. Miller, and the environmentalist, Mr. Hamilton, they had another altercation this morning. Mr. Hamilton is dead.
I don't believe you. Miller was angry, but not enough to kill.
Indeed. Miller arrived to counter-protest an environmental rally, carrying a carbine as a show of his Second Amendment rights. He argued with Hamilton. They pushed one another, wrestled. The gun went off. Hamilton died, 14 minutes ago. Miller had not even realized the gun was loaded. Hamilton's death could have been avoided. Had you quelled the dispute during the working group, perhaps their altercation at the protest would not have turned violent. The gun would have remained nothing more than an inflammatory statement, and Mrs. Hamilton would not now be in mourning. Yet you still somehow believe that you can magically heal the much deeper wounds that separate humans from Avali. Tell me, are they truly willing to reciprocate? Here you are, in mortal danger, and where's the good sub-lieutenant?
What difference does that make?
All the difference. If you cannot even convince your companion to stand with you, you have no hope of achieving the dreams to which you aspire. You are planet-bound. You have seen very little of what your own universe has to offer, much less the multiverse. You are really, truly, completely insignificant. And you always will be, YellowDemonHurlr.
I agree completely. Now die! Ha ha! Hail the conquering hero! First kill for pack armor.
Rhaomi's going to be so jealous.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
I told you you'd get slaughtered without me around.
How did you do that?
Just before you disappeared, my augments all went crazy. Since I wasn't doing anything and you stopped responding right after, I decided that someone was routing through me to get to you. I activated my Nexus implant, borrowed a gun from my favorite sim, and went hunting.
Sorry, your what?
Nexus, Avali augmented reality. I can't connect to the network from here, but I can still run my own programs. That includes security features like tracking invasive tech signals. This one resembled a virtual reality stream, so I decided to deal with it manually. Simple.
How long were you listening?
Since you popped back into that hallway. My condolences for Hamilton's death, by the way.
Rhaomi, why did you help me?
What do you mean, why did I help you? Of course I helped you.
But I'm a hostile alien, an enemy national. You said that if our positions were reversed, you wouldn't help me.
Well, I changed my mind.
But why?
Maltobal, why are you asking me this? Aren't you grateful?
I am, but I need to know.
I don't know. It wasn't a conscious decision. I just did it. It was an impulse thing, like your guitar.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you, Rhaomi.
So, who was that? Mengele?
Yep, in the flesh. Or not, I guess, since that was all in my head.
What was he doing to you?
He was beating me down, running me through a dangerous obstacle course, showing me horrible things. He was trying to break me, I think.
That couldn't have been too difficult.
Yeah, well, maybe next time you can leap across bottomless pits and watch unarmed prisoners burn to death. See how your predatory fearlessness holds up to that.
You know, I'm stuck here because there's no way off this planet. But you could just turn off your computer and leave. There's nothing stopping you.
No. There's too much at stake.
You hesitated. You thought about it.
Yes, I did. Suppose you think I'm a coward now?
I already thought you were a coward. But at least you're not trying to kill me, which is more than I can say about anyone else on this planet, and... well, I need you.
Really?
Yeah, well, obviously, you're the only one who knows the layout of the base. And you can see through walls.
Oh. Right, well, can I see through walls later? I'm exhausted and freaked out.
Of course, but don't take too long. There's been a, development.
Oh no. What happened?
A message came through on Bloodclaw's radio while I was looking for you. I'll play it for you.
A friendly reminder to all personnel. The specialist team will be arriving in 12 standard hours to prepare Subject 07253 and Subject Omega 9 for transport. Please prepare to receive them. That is all.
One of those must be the tentacle beast.
And the other is Mengele, I think. This just keeps getting better and better.
At least we have a time frame now. Go rest. You'll need it. Take a nap, pour yourself a drink.
I don't drink, Rhaomi.
I should have known. You're such a yippee, Hurl.
Perhaps, but at least I'm a yippie in possession of my senses. Right. See you soon.